Hi, I'm Irene Meyer, your financial advocate, and today I would like to share with you the family of the week. So the family of the week today is actually based on a client that I helped back in August of 2021. A little bit about my client, guys. They were a 34-year-old non-smoker in the trades, was temporarily laid off actually when we met. Is a spouse of an agent of mine, somebody who used to work on my team doing what I do. They have investments at his bank. He makes at least $150,000 a year without overtime. They have debts on the house and they have other toys. I'll explain other toys later. They have no disability coverage, no life insurance coverage. And his income is the main source of income. They have one child at home, at least back in 2021. So before they met me, their financial picture looked like this. They had about $24,200 with their bank in RSPs and about $5,100 in TFSAs with their bank. He had a company pension accumulated to about $234,000. They have a mortgage of $470,000 with no protection in case something happened to his income or himself. And then lots of toys for assets. So when they were listing out their assets, they were listing a lot of quads, I don't even know, trailer, things like that. The objective to show this client value basically was to show them how to retire at 60 years old, because that was the age they chose to want to stop working, to show them how to pay off their mortgage early and how to get his investments working harder for him, but at the same time educating him and properly setting him up for protection. So this is what it looked like when before he saw me. He had to retire at 60 years old, basically. If he wanted to retire at 60 years old, he would need to save $1,500 a month starting now to retire at 60 years old, okay? Obviously, that was like alarming to him. Based on what he wanted to have as income when he retired at 60 years old, he did not have enough savings. Even his pension wasn't going to be enough. Now, this would be if he had retired at 60 years old, just based on his savings, just his savings, not his pension, $133,833. Now, after working with me, he would have basically double that, $350,609, more than double that at 6 years old. So that was one of the biggest things, was to get his money at least working harder for him, because if that's all we could do right now, he didn't have any control over his pension. The only thing he had control over was what kind of investments he had with his bank. So that was one of the things we did for him, is got his investments working harder for him. The other thing we did was we showed him how to be debt-free a lot faster. And so instead of paying the way he had been paying onto his debt, I showed him a way on how to be debt-free 9 years sooner. 9 years sooner, guys. That is a big difference. That could mean the difference between retiring nine years sooner, okay? And that, at that point, when you're debt-free faster, or you're debt-free 9 years sooner, you can start saving more money so that you can actually retire sooner as well. And one of the biggest other things that we had to put together was a protection plan, because of course he was the main income earner. He had dependents on him, which included a child and his wife, and he had nothing to cover his debts if something were to happen to him, or himself if he couldn't work anymore because of disability or critical illness. So after meeting me, we set up proper disability on him. He was a tradesperson, so a lot of his ability to work relied on him being physically good to work. And of course, if something were to happen to him himself, making sure that the debts were paid so that his dependents, his survivors, wouldn't struggle with the expenses. Gives them some time to find another source of income. Maybe she would have to go back to work and put the baby in daycare. So that is the family of the week, guys. I hope you got value from that. That's the kind of thing I do, is I sit down with regular, real people and I show them basic knowledge about where their money should really start working and how I can help. Anyways, if you like this video, please share, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I got you all. Have a good day.